It is exactly 3 p.m. right here on A Farmers Media, and this is the Farm Drive Show with me, Conrad Kibe, taking you through all the way to 5 in the p.m. on this beautiful 20th of April 2021, and it's on the 20th of the fourth month of the year. So it is the fourth month and the 20th day of 2021. Very, very being specific. I hope you're doing amazing this afternoon, and you're ready to take this journey with me for the next 2 hours, discussing all matters that where we tell the story of an African farmer in a very, very specific and amazing way. And today we are going to be talking about a very interesting conversation that you as a farmer, you need to get closer and listen to this conversation, because with this pandemic we need to adjust ourselves accordingly and know that there's nothing that is impossible. We need to understand what it takes for us as a market and for you or your products to get to the market, and how you can do that comfortably without interaction, and just making sure that you are following the three guidelines wherever you are, your market can be reached. And details of that and much more will be coming in a few, but also remember we'll be having the pan of the day katika kipindi cha lala salama, so stay tuned for that. And also at the tail end of this show we shall be giving you the traffic updates for those of you on the roads, and you need to get home before 8. For the people around the five red zones, that's Nairobi, Nakuru, Kajiado, Kiambu, and Machakos County. But for the rest of the country, they the curfew still remains at 10 p.m. And definitely for you out there, we need to contain this virus. It's not really the numbers are not really doing well. The positive numbers and the sample size, according to the sample size, and the positive rate not really doing well. But we can always play a part by just making sure you wear your mask properly, sanitize when necessary, and definitely, as always, make sure you keep your social distance very, very keen. And also, as we continue with the show, we shall be giving you the weather updates of that. Ukuwe umejipanga nyumbani. Make sure you take advantage of this rain, because we say it's nature, and we need as farmers to take advantage of the rain and make sure tumejipanga accordingly, so that be of benefit to us instead of being a disaster. All right? Good. And so today we are getting deep into the conversation of today, and we have been having the pandemic for the last 1 year and 1 month, sort of, and so many things happened. Yesterday we were talking about the impact of COVID-19 on farmers, and we saw the impact, the negative impact that came along with this virus. But at the same time, we talked about how we can actually adjust to make sure that we are doing this in the right way. And some of these ways we saw is people adjusted according to how the COVID 19 had affected them. Some of them, it's lack of money. We got to a point where they didn't have money, got to a point where your savings were done. You had nothing at all to even spend on. And now let's talk from the point of you have adjusted now. You have to move on regardless. You have to continue with life, and now you have at least a little that you can actually invest into the farms. And now let's talk about the produce being in the market. With all these limitations, cessation of movement, and comes along with so many things. Paranoia. People are paranoid to just go to the markets where there are so many people. So what can you do for yourself that will make sure, not just during the pandemic, but this is a way that will help you even after the pandemic? Post COVID, you are able to do it. Perhaps you're seated there and you have the product or you have the passion to start, but now your biggest challenge is the market. Talk about the brokers or the middlemen that are there between the producers, those are the farmers, and the consumers. Those people in between there, they are the problem. Probably you have had experiences with them as as a first time farmer, and you went to sell your products out there, and they really discouraged you, and you wondering where you can get this market. Now worry no more. Let's discuss about something that will help you right now, during this pandemic, and also in the future. And right now, the future in agriculture is looking very, very bright. Remember, we said this is a key driver for the Kenyan economy. And so we are talking about e-commerce in agriculture, especially during these times of COVID. How is it helping you as a farmer to make sure that you have had your market intact and your produce and your products are being sold and getting to the consumers directly? And so e-commerce is the sale of or purchase of goods or services via the digital platforms. We saw yesterday 40 million Kenyans have an access to internet right now. And so e-commerce has come in a way where had has to come and work in the agriculture sector. Take advantage. And this is the selling or just purchasing of goods or services on digital platforms. And you see, this is a win-win for you as a farmer. You have your produce, but you don't have a direct market. And for this consumer who doesn't know how to get to you as a farmer, so this becomes a win-win situation for both the consumers and the farmers. And this is the future. This is where the sector is looking is shaping towards e-commerce, digital platform, making sure you're taking advantage of the internet. If you have an access to internet as a farmer, you as a farmer, take advantage of this. And we shall be seeing the advantages and probably the challenges so that you can fill in the gaps. You understand? This is the challenge. This is what the people who actually started having or practicing e-commerce in agriculture are going through. These are some of the gaps I can fill in. We shall be discussing that later on. But it has e-commerce has emerged as the fastest growing global retail channels in the recent years. And talking about online food and drinks, the market shows that the greatest gains globally, with an anticipated growth of probably around 80% between the year of 2018 and 2022. That's when e-commerce has grown to be so big, has shown to uh, and the growth being very immense. Just 2018, sorry, to 2022, projecting the growth will be around 80%. So by next year, with or without the pandemic, the growth of e-commerce will be around 80%. Talking about food and drinks being sold online. We have seen these apps, we have seen people how they have just changed and are doing everything without even having a physical meeting. They are selling their produce on these digital platforms. And so e-commerce has cut across Africa, and it's predicted to increase from just under around 7 billion euros uh, when it started in Africa around 2014. That's when it started growing big to almost probably 65 billion euros by the end of 2025. So that's a 9 year gap on a 9 year limited space, but the growth is probably almost 8 or 9 times or close to 10 times than the value that it started with. In 2014, it was around 7 billion euros, or the money that people got from digital platforms. And it is estimated by 2025 or the end of 2025, the value will be at 65 billion euros. So this is something that you as a farmer you need to get into, jump, hop into these digital platforms. If market or getting a market for you is a challenge, just do one thing. Get to know your target audience. Am I targeting the youth? Am I targeting the people living in the urban sector? Am I targeting the people around me? Can I open a WhatsApp group? Can I open a Telegram? Can I open all these things? All the platforms you have, digital platforms, make sure you act accordingly. And so, uh, the sales of food and agricultural products direct to the consumers through e-commerce have been increasing, especially during these times of COVID-19 pandemic. We saw the closure of the country when we had now the cessation of movement being very strict, and the first time it was enacted, the government started slowly by just making sure there was curfew, and curfew started at 7. The first curfew was at 7, and this was to be done in the whole country. Right now we're having curfew just at 8 p.m. for 5 counties, but the rest 42 counties, their curfew is at 10 p.m. But now let's just go back to last year, at the beginning of last year, when or the beginning of the pandemic, around from March to probably around July or somewhere there, where we had the first curfew being enacted. So many people didn't know what to do, and at that time, people were living from their savings, and so by the time the savings were getting to somewhere now, unaona sasa the savings that you had, it's about to be it's about to be a rough road ahead. People now had to start adjusting. The first few months people were okay staying home. People had done so much work, or there was no rest. Pre-COVID, before COVID, people were working 24/7, and now you've been given a space whereby you're getting home at 7, and the earliest you can get out of that house is 5 a.m. All right, we're talking about so many hours in the house, and so they are closed. The businesses are closed, and so when people got home and they have access to the internet, and quote unquote they are idle, they are home, they don't know what to do, they're trying to get the next step. So most people decided to sit down, think about these digital platforms. You are always on these digital platforms, chatting or doing just so many things that are social. You are socializing with so many people around the country, across Africa, and just everywhere globally. If I can text or chat with someone who is miles away or just kilometers away, and the message is being passed or getting to them, then my products too can get to them in the same way. So how am I gonna do it? That's the question, or the biggest question most farmers ask themselves when the pandemic hit. There is a cessation of movement. There are these protocols that the government have put in place, limitation of numbers at a particular point or at a particular gathering. So what am I gonna do? Talking about markets, people are afraid. Remember, at that time, everyone was skeptical about the pandemic. There is fear around. People don't want to go to crowded places. Talking about supermarkets, markets by themselves. They don't want to get there because the government has said we must maintain that social distance. And at the same time, how am I going to make sure this one is enacted and we have a low purchasing power from the consumers? And so people came up with so many ideas, and they are working. They are really working because all this has actually shot up during this the COVID-19 pandemic. But at the same time, not all businesses will benefit from purchasing on e-commerce. We need to understand that, and it's possible probably you get just some simple models of taking orders and payments over the phone using online forms to place orders without paying by card or cash, at time picking the delivery, or whatever just fits your business model. You don't have to follow all the business models. They get into a platform as long as you know your audience. You know, my audience will use mobile transactions. So any transactions that you will want, uh, just get to know which are fit for your clients or for your customers. If they want to use mobile transaction apps, that's what you're going to put in place. If you're targeting an audience where they use credit cards, they just use bank cards to pay, get to understand that every business or everyone has their own module. Make it as simple as possible. And when the first and second wave was around, or when we were getting to that point, the government had actually uh, advised Kenyans not to not to really rely on cash and make sure they are using everything they are doing is mobile transactions. Just make sure you're paying through mobile as much as you can to avoid uh, because now it's tangible. Money is tangible and it's moving around. It is in the economy. And probably you find someone who has not even sanitized and they're passing money around. And so we had to be very cautious. And now that's when you take that opportunity. But now you as a farmer, you need to realize, is my product, uh will it will it help, will it be of benefit when I use these mobile transactions or credit cards, or probably mine can only work with cash? And at the same time, ask yourself, can I deliver um, can I deliver my product directly to the consumers, or the only way my business can work is for them coming to get the product directly? So these are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself before you come up or just get into e-commerce anytime. Usifananishe your business model with your friend or your fellow farmers. Make sure you have created your own simple model, simple business model that will work for you, will be of benefit for you, benefit for the consumers, and everyone goes home as a winner. Everyone is taking a win home. Everyone is seeing it's advantageous to me, and it's benefiting me. I don't have to go to the market directly. You can deliver, you can do deliveries, or rather, I don't have to go uh, to when you go to the market, you probably don't know where to get this product. But now you have the online platform where I'm very sure I can get this product. As long as we've talked, we've agreed, I can get it. And so some of these things that we need to understand before you get to e-commerce is that online store traffic and anticipated number of transactions is very key. The estimated return of on the investments that you have made on these online platforms, or from the implementation of in online platforms, if you anticipate low to moderate transaction from the online sales that you're having, investing in an expensive e-commerce platform with numerous features will not be the best decision that you can make. This means, if for you the products that you have are probably you're not selling very cheap, very expensive produces, probably where unauza two fruits, all right, and your fruits, when you package, the highest package probably you have is around 200, or around there, maybe less than 1,000 bob. Okay, and that's, you've created your simple module. You've said you do fruits, any kind of fruits, and you deliver fresh fruits. and juice. And so if a person just buys so much, remember that buying fruits worth 1,000 bob from one customer is very rare, right? Or probably we are talking about the 1,000, and the anticipation that you have, probably per day you can get orders of 5,000 every single day, or 2,000 every single day. And so it's not as much as someone who is selling other products, other farm products, that they can get uh, an order of 40,000, or what kind of money, as much as 40,000 or upwards, that kind of money. And so for you, you cannot be on the same level with this person who is probably having orders of 40,000 and above every single day. So uh, the the module that you'll pick for your business will not be the same. You can decide, if this is my transaction every day, I'm getting 2,000 every day, orders of 2,000 every day, then I probably might take mobile transactions to be easy. So get your till numbers, whatever other means you can use, mobile transactions, all this. But don't go for cards saying this is a credit card you can pay with. Credit card for someone who is paying for probably 200 shillings for fruits. And you know how it works. Unataka mtu, you buying 200 shillings fruits, but unataka mtu akuandikie check. You understand? It's the module that you're using that will determine, or your business will determine the module that you use. If what you're getting is not that high, then pick a very affordable module. Don't go for the checks or the bank accounts. You can go for the mobile transactions or cash. That's okay. So the traffic that you're having, or will actually anticipate the number of transactions. Just make sure you anticipate the number of transactions, the traffic that is there during this during this online, uh, when you're doing your business online. Make sure these two things, the anticipation of the transactions, because if you're talking about checks, then you'll have to wait for it to mature. Okay. And so if there are so many orders that are coming with checks, then your money, you're not getting your money instantly, and you're not having the liquid cash, just the flow of money just being around you. You'll have to wait for several days for the check to mature and all that. So be very wise when you're choosing the module before you jump into e-commerce for your business as a farm. The second one is the cost and fees. Each platform will have its own pricing structure. And so with most charging, the charges being monthly, they are placed monthly, or others are just the initial setup fee. So it depends. So you must ensure you know whether the platforms are considering uh, the platforms you're having, either it's the transaction fees, the monthly fees, or the initial setup fees they're having. What do they have? What are they offering? Is it the initial step up setup fee that I should pay, and from there there's nothing else I'm paying, or are these charges monthly or daily? All right, or there are no, or transaction fee. If you send me 250 shillings, am I getting the whole 250 shillings, or there's an amount of money that is being charged for the transaction that you've put in place? So for you, you have to adjust accordingly. Okay. Because as a consumer, you can't tell a consumer, it's not advisable. Unamwambia you they have bought products for 250 shillings, and you're there telling them, as you send that to 50, please send 20 shillings for the transaction fee. They'll rather now go to the market physically and buy the produce. So as you're putting in place the modules or the mode of payment, make sure you have actually done your calculations so well, so that the fee or the transaction fee or the monthly fee that you are going to be charged, please don't put it on the consumers directly. You can do it in a very subtle way. Probably as you're calculating your profits, you can actually just find a way, as long as the consumers won't, you won't overcharge them because of the transaction fee, because they'll get to a point they would rather get the product by themselves in the market and never do online transactions again. So you have to be very keen as you are getting to that platform that you really like, or you see these potential market. Make sure you understand the fees that that are being charged there. Is it monthly? Is it daily? Is there a transaction fee, or the fee that is supposed to be paid is only for initial setup? Because I've seen, so you'll go to a place where they do online delivery, and when they have done their calculations, they tell you the amount is 550 shillings, but as you're sending through this channel, maybe it's mobile transaction, make sure umetuma na za kutoa. It's not really professional to tell to do that, but most of them, probably they're into business, they'll just do it unawares. They'll just send you because that's what they have, they know. That's because they are into business themselves, maybe probably not agribusiness, but they're into business where when they send, because for you probably you have not come up with a till number, the only way you're using is send money from the different mobile transactions we have. Depends with the network that you use. So as you're sending money, there's the transaction fee that this person as a consumer will be charged, and for you as a receiver, and they don't have a till number, they'll also be charged. So make sure if you've calculated your profits, and when you try and include the charges or the mobile the transaction fee charges, you'll be overpricing, and people won't actually get to buy your commodity. Make sure now you come up with a simple structure which is easier, like till number, where hautakuwa umejiumiza wewe mwenyewe kama a farmer, or whoever, or as you who is selling, and at the same time hujaumiza the consumer or the customer. Everyone goes with a win at home. So the first thing is make sure that you anticipate the transactions that are coming in, get to know the module that you'll use, get to know if this is the amount of money I'm getting and it's very low, then I don't have to use a very, very expensive e-commerce platform. If the or the online sales that I'm getting are very, very high, then I need to use a very high or a very expensive e-commerce platforms. Don't get to a point where you're getting low online sales. That's what you've anticipated, and you're there using expensive online uh, platforms or e-commerce platforms. You're charging 200 shillings, but you are there and want to do checks, bank accounts. So make sure they're at par. If you're using low you're expecting, or you're anticipating low online sales for you, make sure you use something that will match that, because at the end you'll not be making profits, you'll be making losses. And so the third thing you need to check before you get to e-commerce is the features and ease of use. The features that are there in, or that are in this e-commerce platforms. The numerous e-commerce platforms, they have been designed in a is specifically for agriculture. There are those that are actually have been designed specifically for agriculture with the purpose to address the unique needs that come with food products, we're talking about drinks and all these uh, food business models that you have around. But however, you should uh, base your decision, or your decision, as you make your decision, make sure you include the decision should be based on which platform you want to use on your individual needs. You as a farmer, make sure the features that are there suit what you are selling, the product that you're selling. Make sure it matches, not just on the cost, but the module that you are using, the features that are in that e-commerce platform suit you as a farmer, and at the same time suits the people that you're selling to, the market, the consumers. That is very key. So for you, it becomes easier. You understand the features. It's easier for you to use. Isikuwe inakuchanga and you don't know. So it's about you as a person, you as a farmer. If you understand this type of platform, if you understand this type of e-commerce, the channel, then it will be easier for you to actually understand, to make sure that the client or the consumer is understanding the channel, and is understanding why you've chosen that kind of module or that kind of platform, and what are the benefits that come with this kind of platform. So when you come back, it's about, I'll be talking more of the initial set time, about mobile compatibility and the advantages of e-commerce platforms, especially during this time of COVID-19. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back with all that and much more.
Beetroot is a highly nutritious root vegetable. The beetroot is the top proportion of a beet plant. It is one of the many varieties of the genus Beta vulgaris, all of which are mostly grown for their edible taproots and leaves. Beetroot is a root crop that takes approximately 3 to 4 months to mature. Beetroot is a fairly easy crop to grow as long as the soil is well cultivated prior to planting. Beetroots do not enjoy wet, boggy or shady soils. Beetroot can be sown in trays and transplanted when the seedlings have 2 true leaves. Plant in full sun, space seedlings 10 to 15 centimeters apart, and rows 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters apart so they have room to grow. Beetroots are also ideal for containers or raised beds. Beetroots will happily thrive in small areas as long as there's at least 20 centimeters depth of soil. Beetroot has been used not only for food but also for treatment for numerous conditions. Drip irrigation is a type of micro irrigation system, or sometimes called trickle irrigation, that has potential to save water and nutrients by allowing water to drip slowly to the roots of plants, either from above the soil surface or buried below the surface from a system of small diameter plastic pipes fitted with outlets called emitters or drippers. The emitters slowly drip water into the soil at the root zone, therefore moisture levels are kept at optimum range, thus improving plant productivity. You can grow different crops using drip irrigation, be it tomatoes, spinach, skuma wiki, beetroots, celery, and many more crops will thrive using drip irrigation method. Drip irrigation is especially beneficial as it provides better plant health, less waste, reduced risk of diseases, money saving, weed control, and saves time. Drip irrigation is the most efficient water and nutrient delivery system for growing crops.
40 minutes past 3 p.m. right here on A Farmers Media. Remember, this is the Farm Drive Show with me, Conrad Kibe, where we give you or we tell you the story of an African farmer direct. And today we are having a very, very interesting conversation. But in the meantime, if it's your first time to join this show or just watch this show, thank you very much. We do this because of you, but I want you to do this just one thing for me. Make sure you follow this page if you're streaming live on A Farmers with a Z at the end on Facebook page. Just make sure you follow us, comment, like, and share with your friends as much as you can. And definitely, if you're streaming also live on our YouTube page, that is A Farmers Media Kenya, just make sure on your right there is a red button there. Just make sure it's gray. By the time you're done, just click cheza nayo hapo, click it until it's gray, and with that you'll have subscribed to our channel. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, comment, and also ukisikia umeshikwa na roho, you can share it with your friends so that they can understand that other farmers actually can understand that e-commerce is the way to go. E-commerce is the future for farmers if you want your products to be sold or to get a market during this COVID-19 pandemic and also post COVID-19. Make sure as you are watching this, make sure you're also following the protocols being given by the WHO and also the Ministry of Health in the respective uh, countries that we have around the world. They are doing three things or telling you three things. Make sure you mask up or mask, and make sure you wear your mask properly, sanitize when necessary, and definitely as well as making sure you are taking your social distance, that is 1.5 meters. You making sure you have retained that and made sure every time you are around people you've kept your social distance. When you do all that, will contain this virus. Remember, it's not just the numbers right now. People that are around us, people that we work with, people that we love, getting this virus, but we'll all come out as winners. But if we don't contain these measures, then it will not be very good for us. So make sure you follow these guidelines and the protocols, and we shall come out as winners. I'll see you. Okay, so we continue with the conversation today. And before we went on a break, we talked about the meaning of e-commerce. We saw it is the buying and selling of products online or using digital platforms. We saw the reason as to why or how it actually grew in Africa, started taking momentum around 2014 when we had the sales, the outcome sales being 7 billion euros, and the trajectory that is being set is by 2025 we shall be getting close to 70 billion euros. So you can see it will be growing by 10 times fold. And so you as a farmer, you need to get into this boat, you need to get into this trade, and you need to get your seeds very comfortable so that by the time, because I know right now bado ijashika kasi, it's still trying to get the balance and get the momentum, but make sure you are part of that foundation, you're part of that momentum as it's starting. But if you get an opportunity to just get in as the train is going, make sure you get in, jua space yako, sit there and be comfortable, because that is the future, that's where we are going. And you as a farmer, you don't need to worry, I have a land, I have the products, but now where is the market, where can I get my market? Everyone is taking their products to a certain market. What am I going to do with mine? It will discourage you. You are a farmer, you have everything, but you're reluctant to start because you're thinking of the market. Now this is for you. Very simple. You don't need middlemen around you. You don't want these people or the brokers to be the key players. You can do it by yourselves from the comfort of your home. You can just take your phone, make sure you get to the right platform after you've done your research. This is my product. These are the people that I'm targeting. This is what I'm going to do. This is the platform that I'm going to use. If you've taken Facebook, taken Twitter, you've taken WhatsApp, Telegram, these are the apps or the platforms that I'm going to use. Or my products will be on this app, but for transaction or for money transactions, this I'm going to use mobile app, I'm going to use my bank account. Just make sure you've done your research right, know what module you're going to use, and all will be well. Anticipate the transactions. If whatever the product that you're placing on these online platforms, you're anticipating low online sales, make sure you don't use a high or an expensive e-commerce platform. Make sure you use what is matching with the online sales that you'll have at the end of the day, so that you don't take you don't be that person will be taking the losses every single day. Take those wins. Make sure whatever you've chosen for your business is also suitable for your clients or your consumers, so that at the end of the day it's a win-win situation for everyone, and everyone goes happy and satisfied. All right. Also, as we continue with that, before you get to now the e-commerce platforms taking momentum and growing step by step, the first thing you need to do is make sure the initial setup time is well done. E-commerce platforms just vary from in their complexity, and the platforms that are built right now or are upcoming upon built upon this they impact the setup time in a very very big way. So the inventory, or doing just inventory, should be what will take the biggest time, making sure that everything is balanced. There's no money that is going to waste, and making sure that the systems that you've put in place are actually working, and they can be linked to your online store. If you're doing your online store, probably you just have a store where the people that you're selling to, we've seen that system working, especially right now in Kenya. We are getting to a point where not everyone can afford having a stall in the CBD, for example, in Nairobi. And so we have people who have decided we can have these stores, rent them to you who is in business, either business outside or agribusiness. As long as you're selling your products to the people, and you're doing it as a side hustle, then you don't have to be in this shop every single day. We can build stalls for you. All right, just bring your products. So when probably you have that Telegram group, you're selling you're selling eggs, as an example, an agribusiness. You don't have to stay on your in your stall the whole day from 8 to 5 selling eggs. You have your Telegram group, and you have your market ready. They know if you want eggs, because you're part of that group, just tell them to go to stall number 24 in this building. You'll get someone there who will help you. So we have so many stalls in the CBD that people, the owners, are not always there, and it's as low as 2,500 every single month. So now you see, when you have that kind of online store, because it's an online store, you will never meet with the customers directly, but you will have that direct conversation. They must know the physical address of this place, because you see, when we started, we talked about it's not all that is practicable, or not everything that can work for you will work for another person. For you, probably delivering this product by yourself will work, but there are other products, probably the only way they can work is by you picking up the products. And so these online stores have really come in hand, or in handy, particularly for those people that have products where you don't have to deliver them to the doorstep, or your customer's doorstep. They can come anytime. eh, Probably they are free. You don't have to make them stray, making sure that this is the right time, or probably your timings are very different. The only time you can deliver, that person is not around, and so you work with your time. And these online stores are very flexible. You can work in any part of this country, as long as you have established your store, and you're in another part, you kilometers away, probably in Nakuru, but you have someone who will monitor uh, your store in the CBD. And so it's that simple, and that's the future. Don't be afraid that you don't have a market. Don't be afraid that you have products, but establishing a market is a challenge. You know what to do. And so after the initial step, remember now, if you're monitoring from afar, so you need to understand how to do inventory management. Just after you've done the initial setup, you must consider inventory for your online store that will keep you up to date. You're in Nakuru, for example, as our case study. You have your store ya kuuza mayai in Nairobi. So how am I going to monitor the day-to-day activities of that store? making sure that whatever I'm seeing from the Telegram group that you have, or the group that you, the platform that you've decided to use, you've decided this is a platform, so I can see the people who have booked here. These are the number of people that have booked. This is the amount that they have paid. And so when you go to the books on the from your online store, you just make sure they match, and everything is uh, is is actually in order. So inventory is very important when you're doing this, especially for online. Even you as a person, probably you're doing it from the comfort of your home. You're making sure pesa za biashara ni pesa ya biashara. And that's why when you're doing this mobile transaction, depending on the network that you use, it is advisable for you to have maybe the pay bill or the till number. Because now if you use your mobile phone number, you may get to a point where you'll have so much sales that it becomes a challenge to know which is the money that is supposed to go to the business and which money is supposed to be mine, like from your own pocket and from the business. And so when you're trying to calculate the profits, nothing is adding up. And so that's why when you're starting any, or probably even the bank accounts, the money that is being channeled to this bank account, you cannot substantiate the money from the business and your own money. So you need to be very keen when it comes to inventory, just making sure everything is balanced. For this, or for you who is trying to get into e-commerce, these are some of the things you need to put in place. Making sure as you setting you, or making the initial setups, you have done inventory. Might take a long time. You probably give yourself a limitation. You say, I'm going to do my inventory every month. Probably others decide, I'm going to do this every single week, others every single day, according to what suits you. If 1 month is okay for you, well and good. If after 7 days is okay for you, every Sunday, that's when you do your inventory. Sawa sawa. If you do yours after every single day, whatever suits you, whatever floats your boat, just do it. Make sure you're not copying your friend or your fellow farmer or your fellow friend who is into agribusiness, because you see their style working. You may not realize for them that's what floats their boat, but for you, you're not really good in doing this inventory, so you need to do them frequently, probably after a fortnight. Because if they're doing a month and it's working, and you try and it's not working for you, you probably cut for doing after a fortnight or after a week. So that one is very, very important to make sure that as you're doing your initial step up setup time, sorry, you make sure you've done inventory management. Very, very crucial and very key. All right. And so the sixth one that you need to put in place is mobile compatibility. You know, mobile commerce has taken off in a big way, the whole of Africa, and they might take we have seen now the increase in the use of smartphone. We are talking about 40 million Kenyans having an access to internet. All right. So any e-commerce platform that you consider to choose should be mobile friendly. We have seen even the banks have gone to mobile banking. The networks that we are using, mobile networks, are doing mobile transactions, because they have seen, or they have studied that the use of smartphones is increasing every single day. And so make sure you have chosen an e-commerce platform that is mobile friendly, that is flexible, that is accessible, as long as one is using Android iOS, as long as this person is using a smartphone, then they can access the e-commerce platform that you've decided to choose. Right now, we are seeing almost every business, as long as you have a bigger market, they're using mobile transactions. As you grow, remember you're talking about online sales. If they are low, then use a less expensive e-commerce platform. If the online sales are very, very high, now you can decide, probably if I try and I'm getting from one person who is has ordered almost 300,000, that's the online sales that I'm getting from this person, then probably mobile transactions might be not. If that's one person, you can imagine now talking about 10 people in a day. Can't can can be a bit hard, but it depends on you. If it works for you, well and good. But don't use if your sales are very high, don't use a less expensive platform. It might confuse you uh, as you do the transactions. So you can use free trial demos if it's something that is being charged after every month or initial setup. Just make sure you understand the module that you are using and it's very easy. Make sure it's friendly for your consumers so that it's not confusing and wanajipata wamepoteza pesa wao wenyewe. They are sending to the wrong accounts, they are sending to the wrong mobile networks, or something might can happen. So uh, make sure the transactions and the module that you choose is very friendly for you as the farmer, or as a farmer, and for them as consumers. Make sure it's mobile friendly for everyone. And with this increase of smartphones, then it becomes easy for everyone. Everyone goes home a winner, everyone goes home satisfied and feels this is of benefit and great value, and I can do it every single time. I don't have to come get, for you as a farmer, your stress is, am I going to get to the market, right? As a consumer, their fear is, am I going to get the right product that I want when I go to this market? So if everyone is benefiting, you've gotten the market, so your fear is gone. And for them, they know I've gotten the right quality and product that I was looking for, so I'm good to go. Becomes a win-win situation for them. The other thing that you need to actually take caution is the maintenance and the support. A self-hosted e-commerce solution can become complex and time intensive to manage, but may be given a certain level of control to third-party platforms may not be a match. And so a third-party hosted solution removes most of the technical maintenance and support concerns, and can have you run it up or run the e-commerce platform quickly than the self-hosted system. And so if you have chosen a particular e-commerce system that you are hosting by yourself, and you're having so many online sales, might be a bit tiresome and so many things that can pass you as you're trying to manage this e-commerce platform. So if you're keen enough, or if you realize that's something that will take much of your time, then you can try a third party hosted solution and decide, this is the e-commerce that I'm going to use, but for management I'm going to get assistance from a certain person. But as you're doing that, is the security for this third party the best? Because you're talking about someone else managing the systems that you've put in place, someone else maintaining the system that you've put in place. So the security for these platforms are very, very important. Making sure the systems that you've put in place are secure, and the person managing them are people who are reliable, and very genuine. But if you decide to do it by yourself, unajiaminia kufanya hizi vitu zote, make sure also you are very keen and you're able to maintain that kind of system that you put in place very, very well. It is very, very important. But if it's taking much of your time, because probably this kind of getting to e-commerce is not something that you're doing full time, it's part time because of the product that you have in. Now, giving an example of that person from Nakuru and having an online shop in Nairobi, that one you bring in a third party. That is a person who is doing the inventory for you. That is a person who is manning the store for you. That is a person who is now communicating with the customers directly. So if there is any issue, they will talk to this person manning this online store for you. But if you can do it to manage coming from Nakuru to Nairobi every single day, and it works for you, you're paranoid about having another person manning and managing your business, and uh, commuting from Nakuru to Nairobi every day works for you, then well and good. It's all about what works for you, what floats your boat. Go with that. You don't have to do it because of pressure. You don't have to do it because your friends are doing it. Whatever works for you, just do it. Make sure it's bringing profits. It's the best, and you can see the advantages and the benefits of what you've chosen to do. And so the eighth thing, as you take caution of all that, is the payment method and the security. So here, as you choose the payment method, make sure it's very secure. And so accepting online orders or orders from online requires the ability to accept credit cards or other alternatives. Right now, people are using PayPal or mobile transactions. And so security and privacy are very crucial when accepting online payments. Remember, not everyone who is on these online platforms are genuine. Not all of them are genuine customers. And so now you need to understand these are the methods that I've chosen. And so right now we're talking about credit cards and PayPal. Those are a bit expensive, not for every ordinary Kenyan mwananchi. And so for you, you need to understand these are the methods and these are the security guidelines and measures that I will put in place. So if you're talking about credit cards, how can I make sure it's credible, it's genuine, so that there are no fraudsters that I'm working with and get myself played? So as you're choosing your payment methods, make sure security is in place. Make sure you have secured this type of payments as you're taking these orders online. Remember, not everyone on these streets of the internet are genuine. So that is very, very important. And so when you come back, we take a look at the advantages of this e-commerce, and definitely a bit of the challenges. All that after this short break. And remember, we're coming back with the interesting segment of the pan of the day. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
One of the most important activities on our farms is scouting. Why is it important? Because you get to know what is affecting your crops on a daily basis. Join me, Noah Nasiali Kadima, every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m., where we guide you to attain knowledge and grow profits.
Are you a farmer facing challenges in your farm? Pests, diseases, or even unsatisfactory produce? Worry no more. The solution is here. Join us every Tuesday on Diagnostic Tuesday, where we talk about various issues affecting agriculture and interacting with experts with knowledge in different sectors of agriculture to provide you with appropriate solution, giving hope to farmers to attain better yields, to achieve financial success and development. Our farmers attain knowledge and grow profits.
As we quickly progress from agriculture to agribusiness, market is key. Join us every Wednesday as we bring to you Market Watch, a show that covers candid discussions regarding the state of the market. Tune in and let's turn our farms into businesses.
Welcome back. I'm glad that you're watching A Farmers Media right here. This is the Drive Show or the Farm Drive Show with me, Conrad Kibe, and we are continuing with a very, very interesting conversation of the e-commerce platforms and the advantages and why we should use them or use these platforms, especially during these times of COVID. I know we have great people out there who have actually decided to come up with solutions and help the farmers to get into e-commerce platforms, and they are doing very great work. So if you're part of that lot or that part of that group that is doing amazing work with coming up with app developments and all these solutions on e-commerce or e-commerce platforms, you can just share with us on our Facebook page, that is A Farmers with a T at the end. Definitely also on our Twitter handle, that is farmers with a Z at the end still, but also you can also get the comments or share your experiences on our YouTube page, that is A Farmers Media Kenya, and definitely we shall be having that conversation on air and also off air and get to understand what you guys are doing, and we are glad that you are doing what you're doing, and we appreciate you right here, we as A Farmers Media. And definitely for you as a farmer, as you're getting the solutions online, we are here to let you know that you can also get to prepare yourself adequately for these rainy seasons. So make sure that you have planned yourself and know when there'll be sun, and also when it will be a bit, it's actually okay for you to do farming, and when you can actually harvest the rain water. And so Nairobi tomorrow, it will be a bit cloudy with degrees of 20 with a temperature of 20 degrees. For Mombasa will be sunny with a temperature of 26 degrees. Nakuru will also be looking a bit partly sunny and also cloudy and rainy, with talking about 17 degrees Celsius as minimum. And definitely Kisumu also will be very, very rainy tomorrow, with temperatures being 21 degrees. Also Thika, kesho kutakuwa a bit of sun and also cloudy, and at the same time rain kidogo with 20 degrees Celsius. And we go to all the way to uh, Nakuru. Watu wa Nakuru wanalia tujaso, but we have done Nakuru. Let's go all the way to watu wa Athi River, watu wa hapa karibu na kwetu. Will be a bit sunny tomorrow with the degrees being as low as 22 degrees. Watu wa Kiambu also will be a bit cloudy but no sun or rain, and so it will be a bit over 20 degrees Celsius as low as that. And just a new one, watu wa Namanga, it will be a bit sunny tomorrow with a bit cloudy and also sunny, and partially the levels or the temperatures for you guys will be 23 degrees. And so make sure you, because I believe you have access to the internet, you can actually plan yourself. Just get the location of where you are, just know when you'll have the rains, when you'll have the sun coming out, and you prepare yourself adequately, and all the best as you benefit from the nature that God has provided. And definitely now to the interesting part of this uh, show, always the pan of the day. We always give the pan of the day during hiki kipindi cha Lala Salama. And if my director can tell me, just confirm to me, the pan of the day is up on the screens. And the pan of the day today is a bit interesting, and it reads: how do ketchup companies profess their love to their customers? By just few words. And these are the words: I love you from head to my toes. So if you have a ketchup company and you actually consume ketchup, if you're taking the fries or you're taking any other kind of food, just know these companies profess their love to you by saying I love you from my head to my toes. And so that is the fun of the day today. And I believe now, kama hujapata mapenzi yote ama hujaiambiwa I love you, now the ketchup companies have done their great job. So today usiseme hujapatiwa maneno ya I love you. Someone somewhere there has told you I love them. They love you from their head, or from my head to my toes. That's okay. And so we wind up we are getting to where we are going to wind up the show. But quickly, I'll give you the advantages of e-commerce as we wind up the show, and get a few challenges so that you can understand the gap, that you can take, you know, that you can actually narrow it down. Ama you take up the gap and make sure you filled it in the right way, and it will work now as an advantage for you. So the first advantage is market. The market outlet is everywhere. You can get the market from anywhere. The diverse, doesn't matter about the proximity of where you are to the market. You can get the market from any part of this country, any part of your region, any part of the world. You can do the transaction, sorry, from any part of this world. And so it's diverse, can be done anywhere, and so you don't have to worry about the market. As long as you're doing your business or your transactions online, then you can target anyone. All right. So that's one advantage, that you don't have to get a small target audience. You can target small, but you'll find yourself, it's diverse. You think of doing your business around Nairobi, but people around Kitengela, Kiambu, Muranga, Machakos also want to be part and parcel of your products and be consumers of your products. So it all depends how you're going to do it, how you brand yourself, how you do your product placement. This will come out as one of the advantages. The second one is the product details and suggestions. Online, you have the ability to provide the detailed descriptions and photos for your products. So it's all about your branding. How are you doing your branding? All right. If you're using Facebook, Instagram, all those social media apps, how are your photos? How are your description? How is your description box? If probably you're doing YouTube, is it catchy? Is it detailed? Do I have to DM you and ask you what did you mean on that paragraph that you wrote? Is it detailed? Is it something that can attract the eye? Remember, we are talking about social media where you're using bundles. Not everyone, probably with this traffic that you have in this country, people are just scrolling. So how catchy are your photos? Will it make someone just stop whatever they were doing and get to look at your post, get to look at your product, be like, hey, this is something that I can try, or this is someone who is doing good business, let me promote him or her. So make sure the details that you're giving are very detailed, or the descriptions that you're giving are very detailed, and the photos are clear and catchy for your products. You can also easily direct consumers to other content on your website that shows how the products can be used. Uh, e.g., if you're doing recipes, if you're selling food, you can tell people how to prepare that food. All right, you can give recipes and all this. Make sure you have sold yourself fully. If you're given a platform or someone invites you to an interview, market yourself. Be like, I sell this product. Probably people are happy with the interview that you've done. Sell yourself. Say, if you want this product that I'm talking about, and you have probably I'm part of a success story, market yourself. Make sure you give everything. Direct people to your website, direct people to your pages, and make sure you get a bigger market, a bigger market that is bigger than how you came in. Make sure you market yourself as much as you can. And also suggestion for additional or complementary products that can be facilitated through product descriptions, videos, photos, or platform intelligent features. These advantages do come with an associated time requirement, which is on the challenges, one of the challenges that you'll face. So make sure you just detailed. Make sure the photos, the videos are of high quality, and when one clicks to the videos that you've put in place, they will not feel that they have wasted their time. They'll feel better and not look at the bundles or the the math they have used to view that, but they feel they have actually spent their time in the right way. So all these things is all about uh, the photo, the product details, and the suggestion that you put place. If people give you the suggestion or the feedback, make sure you read and try and get that uh, critique in the right process or in the right way. If someone tells you probably you have a good product, you branding kidogo, ukiongeza these colors, if you add this font, if you are, just get those suggestions that from the consumers and try and adjust to what they want or to what they prefer. And that will really help you. And it's one advantage. It's straight up. There are people who can't tell you all these suggestions to your face. But the moment you've set up online platforms, they can say it. So you need to weigh if this is something doable, or this is just someone who is just disturbing you on these streets of the internet. Remember, not everyone is genuine on these streets, so you need to weigh how important is what you're being told, or how important whatever you're being told is right. And the next advantage is customer convenience. Right, this is all about making sure that the customers you're having, or the clients that you're serving them in a very, very convenient way, in terms of the ability to get your product. How fast can they get their product? How well have you branded this product? How well are you communicating with the consumers? It's all about making sure you're not you're making sure these people uh, it's convenient for everyone. You as a farmer, your products that the products that you're selling, how they are going to get to these consumers, haujamfinyilia. That's what I'm saying. When you start to get into e-commerce platforms, if the business module that you have chosen is it's easier for you to deliver the product, then do it. You don't have to tell people to come out of your comfort zones with the traffic, heavy traffic you're having around the towns, to just come for your products. If you can deliver, and probably you have a motorbike, and you can deliver and it's around, the proximity is just okay, and that works for you, and it works for also the customer or the client that you're having, it's convenient for him or her, then just do that. It's all about customer convenience. Haumfinyilie make sure hatapiga hesabu ya this one will not work, just going to town, then I take all that time to get that product, and probably now you'll give them other options. They'll be like, hii hata naweza, I can just continue with what I was doing kitambo. I can just buy from the local people here, even though it's not of quality. I'll just buy whatever and find easy. That is because that is convenient for them. So make sure, as you are doing your e-commerce, you're getting into the e-commerce platform or the online platform, put in place customer convenience, because that's an advantage. It's easy, it can be easily be done, because right now if you're having your physical shops, people will say uko ni mbali, siwezi kuja huko, siwezi kujia, so let me just buy from around, because that's very convenient for them. So make sure, as you're doing as you're putting in place your e-commerce platforms or your online platforms, you've considered customer convenience, because it is an advantage, and that's why e-commerce platforms in agricultural platforms are working very, very well. And so, as the last one, let's just get to the challenges. The challenges, one is attracting customers. Right now everyone is having so many things, so make sure, as we were talking about the advantages, the branding. Is it catchy? Can you attract customers easily by the promotions that you're doing and all that? So it becomes a challenge as you attracting customers. You may be over detailed, and people, the brands or the posters you put in place in your online platforms are very wordy or very zinachokesha macho. So make sure, that's a challenge that most people who get into e-commerce go through. Their promotion or how they attract customers is not the best. Uh, is not the best, and so you find attracting customers is a bit difficult. The other one is packaging and distribution. So how you package, most people don't know how. All this is about branding. How do you package your products? How do you distribute them? And so if your packaging is not good, your distribution is not good, then there is no convenience for these consumers and also for you. So make sure you invest in packaging, and also your distribution channels are the best. These are some of the challenges the people in this sector are going through. So make sure you fill in the gaps. It's all about branding. Make sure your packaging and distribution channels are top notch. Make sure your branding and attracting customers, your promotion styles are the best, and you will not face such challenges. So if you're out there, you're part of the solutions. You know how to fill the gap. Now you are there, seated there, watching me, and you're thinking, you are before we started the show, you are there thinking, now how am I gonna get my product? I don't have a market. I'm afraid I don't want middlemen. Now you know what to do. Sit down, get your business plan ready, put everything in place. your modules, business module, how you're going to do it, payment methods, all these things that you've talked about. Do a bit more of the research, get to know your market, your target audience, your branding, get things done. Now you're going to deal with the first step. At least you'll be part of this train that is about to leave the station. In a few years, this will be the in thing, because this train of social media, or the social media wave, is not going anywhere. And if you're not part of it, you might lack so many things, or so many good things that are coming on your way. So be part of these e-commerce platforms, be part of the online platforms, and you might not miss so many things, and you won't regret. All right? So when you come back after this short break, it's all about those people traveling, and especially in the 5 red zones: Nakuru, Nairobi, Nakuru, Nairobi, Kiambu, Machakos, and Kajiado. It's less than 3 hours or 4 hours to curfew, but we shall be giving you the traffic updates, especially for those around the CBD. I don't Welcome back to A Farmers Media. This is the Farm Drive Show with me, Conrad Kibe, and we are about to end the show. But before that, we need to give you how we need to tell you how the roads are looking in the CBD and Mombasa Road. Not so much traffic until around Imara Daima. So make sure you travel safe as you head into Mombasa Road. Karibu na Imara Daima, that's where traffic is a bit not looking so quite good. All the way until around Nyayo Stadium, traffic not looking so good, but it's a bit moving. So just be advised, there's a lot of traffic, and especially for those using the southern bypass. Right now it's unfortunate, if you want to use the southern bypass lazima urudi tena mpaka Nyayo Stadium, so there'll be a lot of traffic in the next few hours. So make sure if you need to travel, you need utoke kazi mapema so that you don't kutana na hiyo jam iko hapo Nyayo Stadium, because everyone around um, even around the southern bypass all the way to Nyayo Stadium, kila mtu anatumia barabara, so make sure you advise accordingly. As you go towards these sides of Kitengela and those moving also to town, just be advised on that. And definitely Langata Road looking the traffic is moving, so mambo iko shwari pale. And if you're using Mbagathi Way, as always, there's a lot of traffic around T-Mall on your way to Langata Road. But after Carnival and all those sides, everything is looking so well. And what were Westlands, it's only around the Museum Hill, so there's a lot of traffic around that place as you go towards Westlands. And definitely watu wa Thika Road, shida mnajua mahaliko pale karibu na Muthaiga. So if you are it's just building up, the traffic around Muthaiga is just building up. So make sure you advise accordingly. Toka mapema sahi. Let's not have the cases that we are seeing around these roads, especially after 8 p.m. So let's try and prepare as early as we can. And I know it's not easy, especially for those using the public service vehicles. The queues are long. You might get out of work at 4 p.m., but the queues might be so long. So I'm hoping and praying that you get home safe today and you'll be okay and you can actually get to work tomorrow. And so as you are taking care of yourselves on these roads, make sure you follow the guidelines and the protocols put in place by the Ministry of Health. Just wear your mask, especially right now when you're having the long queues along just near the bus terminals. Just make sure you wear your mask, sanitize when necessary as you are lighting or you're boarding the public service vehicles, and just the social distance. Make it as practicable as possible as you queuing on these lines. I know it's not easy, but at the same time I know it's doable. We can try as much as possible to make sure we have that social distance as we are getting and boarding to go home, because we need to rest and get to work tomorrow. And definitely in maybe in an hour's time, the Ministry of Health will be giving the updates or the COVID-19 updates since in the last 24 hours. So make sure you can catch the updates tomorrow during the breakfast show with Lillian Thomas at 8 a.m. And definitely she also will be giving you the traffic updates for the people who will now be going to work. So make sure you're part and parcel of that show tomorrow at 8 in the morning. And definitely at the same time, I'm thinking, thank you so much for being part of this conversation, and definitely for Tijani from all the way from Nigeria, and also Kulei. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation, and everyone who has actually been part of this show today, and definitely also behind the scenes, my directors and my producers. Asanteni sana, and always tukutane kesho hapa 3 p.m. Mungu akisema ndio, au sio?